In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about kind of big picture, what to do if something doesn't go your way. Meaning maybe if a customer isn't happy or if you're adding new services to your business and you underquoted a job, right? How do you handle these unforeseen mistakes that come into your business? And a quick note from our sponsor, Jobber. So we've been using Jobber in our business now for the last 5 years. This is the main software that we use, whether it's on our phone while we're out in the field or in the shop, or me working here on the laptop. We use Jobber as our CRM to keep track of customers' information, book out our schedule, look at our schedule and see all the jobs, keep track of the customer's informations, employees clock in and out. We send automated appointment reminders. We actually communicate with the customer through the app, through their client hub, I believe it's called, and a lot more. If you want to get a free 14-day trial plus a special discount, go ahead and click the link down below and give it a try. So what do you do if a customer is upset with your services? Something maybe, it doesn't have to necessarily be the end results that you provided, right? As far as actual detailed work, but could it be the way that you treated the customer? Maybe it's that maybe you were a bit late. Maybe you weren't communicative in the process. Maybe you took too long than what the customer expected to finish the detail, right? So a customer can be unhappy with a number of things, not just the actual detail itself. And, this is going to be applicable to any situation that you have in your business, to where if you assume what happens in real life is nowhere near as bad as what happens in your mind, right? Well, if you're just, because I get this all the time. Hey, I'm getting my business started. Should I go get insurance because I don't want something to happen and then I have to pay out of pocket to fix something, right? That's a very, very, very common thing I hear from beginner detailers. And the thing that happened is that you are coming up with all these made up scenarios in your head of what could potentially happen, right? The what ifs, what if I break this? What if I damage this? What if the customer says I did this? What if you're just playing the big what if game. And the thing about playing the what if game is you can win or lose however you want, right? Because you can come up with 1,000 scenarios of things that could go wrong that, if you play that game, then why even start your business? Because anything could always go wrong, right? And you get more stuck up in your head of what might happen than what actually happens in real life. So if a customer is upset with you, whatever it is, not that I'm being very general with these answers, so it stays very vast, but you'll have to figure out what's the best course of action at that given time. Because the first time you have a customer unhappy with you, well, what do you do if this is your first time happening, right? So with us, if they're, and again, I'm keeping things very general because there's so many what is unhappy, right? What does that really mean? It has to be very specific scenarios in terms of that's what the customer meant by that. So let's say, for instance, the customer is picking something. Oh, hey, did you guys miss that scratch? Or hey, that stain didn't come out. Okay, a multitude of things could happen on your part. You could say, for instance, when we turn in a vehicle, we always tell the customer, hey, take a few moments to look over the car thoroughly and let me know what you think. If you see that I missed anything, please let me know and I will address that, right? That way you give all the power to the customer to say, hey, please let me know if you see something that you're not happy with. Because maybe that customer is an introvert. Maybe that customer doesn't like confrontation. Maybe that customer is going to feel bad if they say something. So they might say oh, there's a few crumbs right there, but I don't want to say anything because I'd rather just not say anything. You give the power to the customer to say, hey, please let me know if there's something I may missed, right? And you can be funny with it too. Hey, let me know if I missed anything. We were on this for 4 hours, but it's so easy for me to miss a small little crumb. You could, it doesn't have to be super structured and oh my God, inspect it as if, whatever. You could still be very playful with it and such, but just, give them the power to say, hey, yeah, you missed something there. Let them, give them permission to nitpick your work and critique your work. Not that they will, 9 out of 10 times that we say that to the customer, they don't say anything, right? But you want to give them that freedom, that space to say something if they want to say something. So if they do say, oh, what about this stain here? Oh yeah, we already told them to inspect it. We told them to let us know if there's something that they want addressed, and we just address it, right? Whether it's again, keep things very general. Whether it's a missed stain or a stain that didn't come out, even if we did hit that stain multiple times, we'll let the customer know, like, oh, hey, like that stain actually, whatever, we hit it multiple times, but let me go and just touch it up one more time. But I think that stain's gonna stay there, right? That's simple. Again, apply this anywhere in the engine, in a correction, or removing swirls, whatever. Like it's the same application. Obviously, you have to gear it towards like the specific context of the detail of the thing that they're pointing out. But it's really that simple. So there's many cases of like what a customer might not like, might think you missed something. And this is why it's such a big deal to have upfront communication with your customer in terms of like what's going to happen or what you're going to do, or the basically managing the customer's expectations, right? Because if you don't clearly set what's going to happen with the detail, what they assume and what you are going to deliver are two different things, right? So if you sell a full detail, right, and you keep things super general, what the customer assumes is a full detail is entirely different to what you consider a full detail. Like we never say the word full detail because again, it can encompass so much, right? A full detail to a lot of people could be a wash and an interior deep cleaning, right? To someone else, it might be a correction, coating, interior deep cleaning, engine cleaning, headlight restoration. So there's so many levels to it. So like you don't want to. That's why with us, we never do packages with our services, right? Like we don't have, oh, hey, the gold package has the interior deep cleaning and the wash and seal, and the silver package has the wash and just a light interior cleaning. But the bronze package has the light cleaning, the correction and coating, and the engine detail. Because that's just it's too nuanced. Like the customer themselves don't know what all they want, and it just to me it just adds more confusion if you create like a package versus just letting the customer tell you what they want and you give them what they want, right? Like I remember I had packages in my business like maybe back in like 2014, maybe 2013, perhaps. Since then, like I've never done packages because like, I would recommend like, oh, well, we have the, package one option, and they're like, oh, okay, that's good. I don't really need the engine cleaning, but I do need a headlight restoration. Do you have a package for that? And it's like, well, am I not trying to create a package for every scenario that could potentially happen with these customers? So eventually I was like, okay, how about I just talk to the customer? They let me know what they want, and I provide them that service, right? So if I say, if they want a interior deep cleaning, a headlight restoration, a light polish, and what am I missing? And an engine cleaning, then yeah, okay, the price for the engine cleaning is $80, the light cleaning is $120, the paint correction is $800, and the headlight restoration is $120. I'll just give them all those services, give the total price, and like that's the price of what you're getting. So we don't do packages either. And the common theme about this is like things will change in your business, right? The way your standard operating procedures in terms of how you talk to customers or how you deal with situations are going to change. And that is a big deal. Like things that you do in your business will change. There are so many things in my business, in literally every area of my business. I don't care what area you look at. Whether it's the tools, the products, the pricing, how we talk to customers, how we greet customers, how we get the customer's location, where the customers go, the services that we offer, how long it takes for us to do the services, in whatever aspect of the business you want to see, it has changed over time, right? It improves over time, and not necessarily even improve. It just simply changes, right? Like it just simply changes in the way you go things. And like I don't get caught up in anything of like if something has to change, or if we made a mistake somewhere, okay, well, what was that mistake? Where did we go wrong? What do we do so we decrease that chance of happening again, and then just keep on going? That's it, right? So if a customer is unhappy, so after it all happens, it all unfolds. Okay, so where do we go with wrong with the customer? Did we communicate our services properly? Did we confirm with the customer that they understood what they were going to get? Do we have evidence in terms of like, did we say what we were going to do in an email or text message? Or was this all basically hearsay and it was our word against theirs because we talked everything over the phone? And we should just start recapping that all through text message before we book them in, or in the when they get to the shop, we go over all the details again and confirm one more time, right? Like these are things that happen over time when different things come about in your business that like it forces you to change things, right? Like that's just the most basic thing. So like when a problem happens, it's not the end of the world, right? Like you're not going to lose all your customers, or your business isn't going to go entirely wayside because you got one-star review, right? Like if you get a 1-star review, right, which is bad, right? Bad because you clearly dropped the ball somewhere with the customer. And then 2, it just for reputation matters when someone goes to your business profile and they see your there's that 1-star review. Yeah, it doesn't look good. But then like if you stay so hyper focused and you're like, oh, how do I get the review out of here? Oh my God, let me call Google. Let me try to do this. Let me try that. Let me try to do that. Let me try to do that to get rid of it, right? And you try to go through all these things. So like, how do I get rid of that one review? And it's okay. Well, what happened, right? Because if it's a malicious, if it's a malicious review, meaning like maybe it's like a fake review by a competitor, it does happen, by someone that just like maybe they didn't like the way you spoke to them over the phone because they, for whatever reason, and they just leave you a bad review. Maybe there was something on your end that you did that wasn't good, and they were upset about that. Maybe it's someone that actually like legitimately confused your business with another business, which happens. And to some degree, if that happens, you can actually get those removed if you can back it up of like that they're talking about the wrong business. But whatever the case, you could either look at that review and say, how do I get this review out of here? What am I going to do? Oh my God, this is going to affect my business. Oh my God, like, we have 50 5-star reviews and now we have 1 negative review, and like, oh my God, my reputation is tarnished. Or over the next week, 2 weeks, whatever timeline, you go and get 50 other reviews, right? So like focusing on the right thing that actually moves your business forward, even if there is a mistake or a problem or error where something happened, you can still come out on top if you're proactive and you understand what the big picture is, right? Big picture, okay, we have 50 5-star reviews. We get one 1-star review. Okay, so now let's go get 50 more. And now it's 100 5-star reviews and there's 1-star review. So even if a customer sees that, well, that's not going to impact them. Everyone understands there's always going to be a very small number of negative reviews, right? Between 1 and 3 stars, right? Everyone is accepting of that. If I go on Amazon and the reviews are 80% 4-star or above, 4 or 5 stars, right? 80%, and there's 20% that are 3 stars and below, I'm like, okay, I can have some trust into that product, right? Assuming all the reviews are true and such, right? But if there's 80% approval, 4 stars or above, I'm like, okay, there's some validity to these claims, right? If there's 85% approval, meaning 4 to 5-star reviews on the product, I'm like, okay, that's pretty strong. So one review doesn't kill your business, right? Because like no one's going to be perfect. Everyone's going to have some bad experience to some degree, okay? You could even make the case that if you only have 5-star reviews and you have like 200 5-star reviews with no negative review, someone will also make the claim that, oh, these are fake because these are all only 5-star reviews. Like, you see how funny that works, right? Like you come up with all these scenarios, and it's like you can also have a what if scenario that someone would think all these reviews are fake because they're too good. You see? So like you can't get stuck up on these small little details. Like you got to stay focused on the big picture, right? If you have a problem with a customer, if you have a problem with a tool, if you have a problem with something, like big picture wise, what's really the goal here, right? To learn, iterate, and improve in terms of what did we go wrong? What can we do? And start to implement that. Because you'll always have problems, right? When you first get started, you have your own set of problems of trying to get to $1,000 per month. Then you have a different set of problems when you're at $10,000 per month. And then you're at a different set of problems when you're at $20,000 per month, right? When you're just getting started by yourself, you're just trying to get a few jobs per week. When you're at 10,000, maybe you're trying to look for a part-time employee so you can keep on growing. When you're at 20,000, you're like, okay, now how do I get 2 employees that are working full-time that are in charge of the van while I stay at the shop and work on the details over here? So at every phase, you are going to have a consistent set of problems. Just at the phase that you're in, is what changes the problems, but the problems will always be there. Okay. There's the good book. What's the book called? What is it called? I forget what it's called. It's a great book. Is it no, it's I don't want to edit this. I'm trying to see. What's that one book called? I've mentioned it so many times. Anyways, the gist of the book is that, let's say there's a pipeline, right? And inside this pipeline, right? Think about like a factory, how there's pipelines that go like get connected everywhere, right? And let's say there's an inefficiency, right? There's a problem in this pipeline, right? That's causing a bottleneck. So the gist of this book is that no matter what you do, you never remove the problem from the pipeline, right? You don't make the bottleneck in your business. You don't make the bottleneck in the pipeline disappear. You only move it somewhere else. Okay. So you might be saying, okay, so like if you're just getting started and you're making, your goal is to get you to $1,000 per month. So that's your goal, right? $1,000 per month, and you need to get what, like 2 jobs per week, let's say. Okay. So in your pipeline right now, one of the problems is, okay, I need to get 2 jobs per week. Once you hit that goal, and now I have 2 goals. Now I have 2 details per week. Does the problem now go away? No, you just push it down to the next phase, because now what you're going to say, okay, well now I'm at $1,000 per month. Now I want to get to $5,000 per month. Okay, so that goal, that problem that you had in your pipeline, it didn't disappear. You just now push it down to the $5,000 per month goal. And now once you get to that marker, now you're saying, okay, I have yet another inefficiency or problem in my pipeline. So the problems never go away, right? You're working by yourself. You're fully booked out. You're up to your nose of work, and you're saying, "Man, I need to go hire someone because I'm so freaking tired and so overwhelmed that I need the help." Okay, well, the next job is Well, you could probably raise rates, lose some customers, but still make more money. That's an option. You could simply just not take on as much work, right? Because if the goal is always like to grow and make more money, but like at the same time, why? Right? Like if it's causing you stress to keep on growing, it depends what you want to achieve. But like if it's causing you stress and strain to grow, why not just scale back a bit more, make less, but like you're just happier and less stressful, and you have more time to do what you want. Anyways, I digress. That's a whole separate conversation. But let's say now it's like, okay, I need to go hire someone. You don't just snap your fingers and you're like, there, look, I hired someone. Now let's go knock out this work. No. Your now new set of problems, your problem in your pipeline is now, how do I hire someone? How do I train someone? How do I onboard someone? How do I retain someone? How do I make sure this person is going to be of quality and going to stay with me for a very long time? Whether it's 1 year or 5 years, I don't know. But now that's a whole set of problems, right? Your problems never go away. They just change, right? And going back to what I said is like, I'm not worried about changing something or something happening or, adding a big one is like adding a new service. Like for instance, window tinting, right? We added that as a service. It's going great. But did we know anything about how to price them, or what brand to use, or how much to order, or when we should order the material, or how long a job should take, or how to even do the job, or what expectations to set with the customer, or what to do if this doesn't lay down, or what plotter do we get and what software do we use? And did we know any of that? Absolutely not. But all we did, or all I did, just to keep it the example simpler, is you just take everything day by day, decision by decision. And yeah, there's plenty of times where like, oh, okay, yeah, we actually didn't have to buy that tool. Oh, we didn't really need the whole roll of film actually. Oh, okay, I see why we undercharged that one. And by every decision, you just get a bit more experience, right? You get just a little bit more experience to make a little better of a decision next time. And that's literally it. Like, are we perfect with our window tint right now? No, because there's still a lot of cars we haven't worked on. There's still there's just so much for us to learn. But with every customer, with every interaction, with every quote we give, with every customer we service, with with everything that we do, like every time we get a step closer to saying, oh, okay, now I know what to do. So if we have a customer and we're like, oh man, I think we underquoted that, which we're not. If we do underquote, it's not like we should have charged 500 and we charged 200, not like that. But even so, like understanding like, oh, this car has pre-existing film and we didn't account that for our service. Okay, well, we still got to remove the film. This is our first time. So like, let's just go through it. But next time we'll know if the vehicle has pre-existing film, we need to charge extra for that, right? And then that goes further into how we communicate with the customer. And one of the first questions that we ask is, hey, does your vehicle have existing tint? And then another example is that like they tell us no, but when the car comes to us, we're like, hey, it actually has existing tint. But they for whatever reason, maybe they didn't roll down the window, maybe they really thought it didn't have it, but there is existing tint on the window. So the next thing we tell them now is, hey, do you have, does your car have existing window tint? Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, fantastic. When you come here and we inspect your vehicle, we'll inspect it one more time. If there is existing tint or extra work we have to do to prep the windows, that will be at an extra charge. But we'll let you know that before we get started once you're here, right? So like there's many levels of like things that we add to the customer based off like, oh, okay, so we asked them about tint. They thought they didn't have tint. We brought them in there. Funny enough, all windows are tinted, including the front windshield. And we have to remove all of that first in order to do our job, right? So these are the things that like you just learn as you go, and you are going to make mistakes. Like there is no which way about it. Like you are going to make mistakes. And you just have to be okay with that, right? You have to be okay with saying, okay, that was a mistake. That should have been $600, we charge $350. That sucks. Let's keep on going. Because like what other option is there but to just keep on going forward with whatever problem that you have, right? You could do this. You can think about it like this when you're marketing, when you're talking to customers, when you're detailing, when you're mobile, when you're shop based, when you're transitioning from mobile to shop, when you're trying to add a new employee or a new van or whatever. Like these mistakes are going to happen. Now, obviously, some mistakes can be a lot more costly than others, right? Like thankfully for us, like there's been no big like, oh, there's been mistakes that like we've broken something and we placed a $30 thing here, a $25 thing here, a $17 thing here, or whatever. Like we've had those mistakes, but never were like, oh, that was a $3,000 mistake there. We haven't had that. So again, there's varying degrees of mistakes that could happen or costly mistakes that could have a bigger impact on your business for sure. But like, going back to the thing that I hear all the time of like, hey, I'm just starting my business. Do I need to get insurance right now? And it's like, there's a time and place for everything, right? There's a time and place to get an LLC. There's a time and place to get insurance, which by the way, when someone says, do I need to get insurance? It's like, you understand there's insurance for literally everything, right? So like there's an insurance for, like you can buy an insurance for almost everything. So it's like, what insurance do you mean? Like there's so many things. But like the most basic one is if you're using, if you have a dedicated van or truck for work, for mobile detailing. Okay, well you get commercial auto insurance, right? And commercial auto insurance is going to be more expensive than your personal insurance. So if you have no customers, right? Like no customers yet, you have no revenue. So now you're adding an expense to a non-existing revenue generating business. And you're saying, okay, well, I want to get insurance because just in case something happens. It's like, okay, well, now you're paying, let's say $300 a month for your commercial auto insurance, right? And let's say the first 50 jobs you get, it's like the most basic of basic services because you're just getting started, right? And it's like, yeah, like, are there things that should be done? Yes, but like you have to understand, like you can't do, especially if you're on a limited budget, like most of us are starting our business, you can't do things where you're just wasting money, right? Like, yeah, go get commercial auto insurance, go get an LLC, go hire an accountant to set up your bookkeeping and your accounting stuff. Go and I don't know, go get a logo, go get your van wrapped. Like all these 5 things. Let's just be very conservative and let's just say all those things would be $7,000. And I'm being very conservative because our wrap itself might be like $25,000 to $5,000. That's $7,000 with your business making no money. Okay. And again, like if you have the funds to say, hey, yeah, I'm starting off with $25,000 and the rest is going to go to marketing and such. Like, okay, yeah, you have that budget. That makes total sense. But I want to say at least 98% of the population that wants to start a business, we're starting with a very limited budget. So it doesn't make sense to go and spend money on these things that like don't have a direct impact on our business, because we need to go and make money, right? We need to go and get customers. So if if it's between spending $7,000 on logo, wrap, business shirts, your LLC, your what else did I just say? Your commercial auto insurance. You can spend $7,000, and guess what? After 2 months of getting all that set up, you're still at $0. Oh, you're still at $0 per month, and you have no customers. Whereas if you took that same $7,000 and you put that into marketing, whether it's Facebook ads, Google ads, whether it's SEO, you will. I mean, I couldn't tell you how much of it, but you will have a booked out schedule with paying customers if you apply that $7,000 into actually marketing, advertising, and sales, versus just having these other business stuff just because like it's the right thing to do. So my camera is actually about to die. I went on a full rant on this one. It was supposed to be like more like, this is all encompassing. Like if we talk about like, what do you do when a customer's unhappy? It's like, well, that can lead into so many other things, right? Like if a customer's unhappy, I see that the same way as like if we make a mistake somewhere else. Like this is all just kind of bundled together, and in terms of like how you can look at it, it's just obviously in the context of what exactly you're doing is going to change. Hopefully you took something away. I'll talk to you guys on the next one.